I am Annette Pasternak, the Stop Skin Picking Coach. A few of my more popular videos have been about sensory tools for your fingers, kind of like the peeling of the glue and actually I can't remember, but I know there's a couple that are pretty popular. Oh, the beads, pulling the beads from the putty, things like that that can kind of simulate something similarly satisfying for your hands to do, for your fingers to be touching, getting some input there for the senses and some visual inputs too. That's similarly satisfying to picking. So the idea is to compete with the desire for skin picking by doing something that's going to be similarly satisfying. Of course, it's probably not going to be as satisfying, but if you really want to stop the behavior because it's, causing you damage, causing your skin damage, causing your life damage, then it's helpful sometimes to provide yourself with an activity that's similarly, feels good or you enjoy it. To some extent, you'll be less likely to do the skin picking behavior. Okay, so today, instead of having a tool for your fingers for input, I'm going to give you a few ideas for the skin that gets picked on, because sometimes like that skin or those parts of your body are what's desiring sensory input, and that could be a reason that you're picking, that it just feels good or it somehow calms you down or gets you just in a calm focused state, or at least tries to. That's what the picking does for a lot of us, or tries to do. So so here's what I've got for you. So a few tools today that are a little different. So the first one I want to talk about is dry brushing, the dry brush. So this is something that's got a lot of uses. There are a lot of reasons you might want to do this. But one, it really actually feels very good. And so you can brush, always in the up direction, because this is also moving your lymph. Okay, I have to do the other side now because it just that felt so good and I just need to be even. But this is something that it feels good. It gives your skin some input. So what you can do, and this is, worked for a lot of my clients, is that if there's a routine time where you always end up going to pick, instead you might just need to brush your skin. Okay, obviously you can't do this if you have a lot of open wounds right now, but you can do it on other areas, or you can do it later on. And this really has a wonderful calming effect, and it just feels really good. Yeah, so some of my clients have used this to really good effect. So if it's a time, let's say there's a time and a place where you always end up picking, you can make sure you do this first, and then quite often you don't feel the need to do the picking anymore. So for example, I had a client who, she would come home and immediately go into the bathroom to pick, especially after work. She had a busy work schedule, really, really active all day long. And she came home, and she was married, so her husband was always home when she got home too. And her habit would be to go into the bathroom right away and just end up picking, and not for very long, but 10-15 minutes, something like that. But then once she first covered up the mirror, and then she got the dry brush, she started brushing instead. And then after a couple months, she actually uncovered the mirror. I wouldn't recommend uncovering the mirror for most people that soon, but she had only started picking when she was an adult, and it had only been a couple of years, and so she was able, to uncover the mirror after just a few months. But this really helped her. I think she did some tapping too. She just made a whole new routine for herself, just to give herself a little bit of calming downtime just relaxation that felt good before she was able to like go socialize with her husband, you know, because we need some downtime and alone time, and she just didn't get a zip of it at work, and she needed it right when she got home. So this was great. Now this is also good. You can do your legs as well. Definitely recommended, again, from the foot upwards, always towards the heart for dry brushing, because that's the way the lymph flows, which is part of our detoxification system as well. So this actually is a good way to detox your body. And I remember Dr. Christie, who was in another video, I'll link that. She says for this reason, dry brushing is actually good for cystic acne, or, you know, reduce the cystic acne, because it's helping detox, you know, move those hormones and toxins to get them to break down and leave the body. So instead of, you know, creating acne. So this is really good for that. I also spoke to another esthetician who works with some skin pickers, and she says that this is really good for scars, you know, to improve your circulation, and it helps reduce, especially leg scars, which are very kind of stubborn. She said she recommends some dry brushing for that. Okay, but again, you know, you can't do it. Don't be doing it like agitating a wound or anything. Yeah, so I think that's what I had to say about dry brushing. Try it. I'll link a dry brush, the one I have, in the notes below, as well as the other things if I mention some other things in this video. So that's a really good one. Now, if you, let's say you pick at your head, there's this thing called the Head Tingler, or the Tingler, just maybe. I'll link this as well. And this is kind of like giving yourself a little interesting massage. This feels kind of good as well. Bit tickly, but that might be, actually, I'm kind of liking it. I have to do symmetrically again. Yeah, so this is something else. If you tend to pick at your head, like, maybe preempt that, you know, beforehand. Make a habit, you know, let's say you start to do it when you watch television, as an example. Maybe you make a new habit, like you've got to pick up your tinkle instead in the beginning, and, you know, give yourself some scratches with that. Okay. Another thing, some other sensory input that's really good that can be used to interrupt picking or prevent picking would be like ice cubes. I've heard from people who have, this has really helped them, where like if they really feel like they want to pick and something's bothering them, some area, take an ice cube and just like put that on their skin, you know, wherever it is. It's really giving an intense sensory input that can just change things, kind of mix the system up a little, you know, and because you've got to break that loop is what's happening. You know, you have the urge to pick and then you do it. So putting like something different in there between having the urge and then picking, you know, if you're able to like interrupt that with something interesting like ice, like a different sensation, that can help. Also, like some different creams or oils, you know, you can get a similar cooling sensation from peppermint. Now, here's just my favorite little fidget toy. This is a dog toy. My New York accent is coming out. This is, yeah, a dog toy. I got it at the pet store. It's just a little plastic ball with nubs all over it, and I just think it feels really good. So it feels good on my hands. Okay, so this is another sort of thing. I mean, I don't know if you wouldn't really probably want to roll it around on your skin, but I just think this feels great on my hands. So that's another idea. A couple other sensory tools are more like a deep pressure into your muscles. Like when you get deep pressure, it's actually very calming for the nervous system. So for that, you can use different things. These are therapy balls, yoga tune-up balls. There are lots of things you can do with them. It's kind of complicated to learn, but you can look up other people's videos on this, yoga tune-up. I just did, I love using it like this against a door jamb. And I mean, literally, like, it just makes the muscles softer. Like, I could bend my head about this much before I did it, and now I can bend it, well, a little more. I need to do some more work with this. So therapy balls, foam rollers, same kind of idea. You can lie on your back and roll around, roll it up and down your back. I do my side, like my hips. Can't really see it. My legs. It just feels really good. This kind of deep pressure is really calming. And so, you know, doing this, let's say when you get home, if you feel all stressed or overstimulated or whatever, this can be really relaxing. Also, before bed is a good time to do these things. Another thing that's a good idea would be weighted blankets. Sometimes those weighted blankets can really calm anxiety and all that. So anyway, more ideas for you. I think that's it for this video. If you have any ideas, please share them. Other people, you know, love to look in the comments. Let's have a community here and share your ideas. And if you like this video, please give it the thumbs up. If you aren't a subscriber already to my channel, do that. I've got more great videos coming for you. See you next time.